Hi there, Kim Coles here, and I am so excited to be introducing you to my next guest. I will tell you that she is a coach. I will tell you that she is a wise woman. You know how I know? Because she's one of the co-authors in the Wisdom G.I.F.T.S book, one of the co-authors that we've all come together to create this amazing experience for you to hear our wisdom, and maybe you get to share some of your wisdom with us too. But right now, let me share Coach Vanessa with you right now. Vanessa Perry is a certified nurse, whole health coach for the federal government, and a mindset coach based in Virginia. She's passionate about helping people to be, do, and have more through unleashing the power of their authentic selves. Her holistic approach brings clarity, direction, and positive support to her clients. Vanessa helps her clients to live their best life by filling the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. Vanessa is skilled in helping people tap into themselves, find direction and true happiness and joy in all aspects of their life. Doesn't that sound good? Vanessa is highly intuitive and known for bringing new ideas into reality. Some of her specialties are designing and facilitating mindset shifting conversations that make a practical difference in people's lives, developing teams, and training leaders to effectively deliver their ideas. If you want to grow your life, grow your relationships, grow your career, your business, you must first grow yourself. You don't just need the steps to get your vision. You need a personal growth plan that empowers you to live the life you can imagine. And Coach Vanessa is just the one to make that happen for you. Welcome to the stage, Coach Vanessa Perry. Yay!
Yay!
Wow. Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of the Wisdom Gifts book.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, good. What made you decide to say yes to be a part of this experience? I sometimes call it an extravaganza of wise women sharing their gifts of their wisdom. What made you decide to say yes, and what was the process like for you writing your chapter?
Wow. What made me say yes? I myself was in the process of writing a book, and it was a labor of love, and it was a lot to put together. And when I came across your wonderful opportunity and invitation, coupled with the mentorship and the coaching, I mean, it was a no brainer. I was like, sign me up.
I'm glad you said yes. And,
Mhm.
I hope that this, people, have to understand. I think that there's a book in so many of us. And,
Mhm.
and I think in all of us, we all have experiences to share and wisdom to share. And we're going to talk about some of your experiences and how you've become a coach and all of those things. But, you know, these steps get you ready for that bigger book. So I'm looking forward to seeing that bigger book come on out. If this part of, if this was any indication to a little piece of it, then come on out with the whole experience. So we need to hear what you have to say. Tell me about your journey to become a health coach and a coach, and especially for the federal government, because this is really interesting. And and are you still a nurse, by the way?
I am. Yes, I'm
You're
a
still a
nurse
nurse.
whole health coach for the government. That's an actual position. Yep.
Okay. So what is whole health coach? Explain that to me. Maybe I should know that first.
Okay. Well, whole health coach is, well, it's for the federal government, the veterans. So it's a cultural transformation approach to healthcare
Mm,
that focuses on your health and well-being versus just sickness, disease, and illness.
mhm.
So what I do as a nurse, I come in and I coach the veterans on achieving their health goals, maybe lowering their blood pressure or their A1C or hypertension. So we work one on one with them through a 9 to 12 week program.
So it sounds to me like you're taking care of the very best of us, the ones who serve our country. You serve them by taking good care of them, and that's so 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 wonderful. And what drew you to that community in particular?
Because I'm a veteran, I served. I served 3 years in the U.S. Army with one combat deployment. I got out of the military, came back. I decided to do a career change and become a nurse.
Mm,
So I first started at the VA as a nurse, and then later on, I got certified as a health coach.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point I was torn. I'm like, I really love coaching. I really love nursing because I want to be 100% into whichever path that I was going to choose. So I discovered that I could marry the two together and become a nurse whole health coach.
This is amazing. First of all, thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for turning around and serving those who serve, because I didn't even know, I didn't remember that piece of it. That's so wonderful. And what I'm hearing from this is that all of us have experiences. Like I said when I first, was introducing you, that we all have experiences. And isn't it so rich and wonderful when you can take those experiences and then just infuse them into your life and to your passion and into your work? So how does
Yes.
it feel to be, how does it feel to be holistically connected in that way?
Oh my God. It actually feels like home, to be honest. Um, you hear people say it, do something that you love, do something that you're passionate about, and you'll never work a day in your life. Well, I was passionate about nursing, I was passionate about coaching, and when the two came together, I just felt so aligned and at peace. Like, this is my path, this is my journey. So I literally don't work. I get to go wake up every day and go and serve the veterans
Mhm.
and practice and coaching.
Got it. Do you also have private clients outside of the government as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have my own business. It's Universal Empowerment Leadership, and it's mindset coaching. I'm an intuitive mindset coach. So my clients outside of the VA are usually women, but I do have some male clients.
Yeah.
And then also we give back to the local community because we go into the school system and we coach and train the staff and the children on leadership,
Mm.
self-awareness, and finances.
Oh, I hope y'all are listening to this. Coach Vanessa is somebody you need to know. So let me talk to you a little bit about the term intuitive mindset coach, because
Yeah,
we need you more than ever right now. So I
yeah.
love that you've also married two things that could be very separate. So you're a mindset coach
Mm-hmm.
and you're an intuitive mindset coach. So the first question I have is, um, how did you know that you had intuitive abilities, and how do your abilities um, uh, show themselves?
How did I know I was intuitive? That's a good question. Way back in childhood, I was told that I had an old soul, that I was an observer, that I had a different or quirky mindset. And so over time, you take that, you live it, but you're not clear on it. Once I got older and started to go out into the workforce, when I was in management positions, my supervisors or the owners would be impressed with my approach to the business and the problem solving. And then once I got connected with the church and my faith, I learned that I was a seer, that I could tap in and tap in and see.
Tap it in and see. Oh, you pause for a second. I was going to ask, did you see something I need to know? And
No,
I'm sure once people find that out about you, like, what you know, girl? And well, let me ask you this. Do you think that we all have intuitive abilities? And yeah, do you think that we all have them?
oh, absolutely. Yes, we're
Mm.
born with it. We have we're connected by our spirit, our soul, and our being. It's not really religious, but it is spiritual. But yes, we are definitely all born with intuitive qualities, and we know what we want. We know what we need. We're just not clear on the
Mhm.
process, and we tend to forget that we were born with those gifts in us. And as a coach, that's what I do. I come in and I partner with my clients to help them reconnect and remember their natural spiritual gift that God has given them. So yes, we all are intuitive.
I love this. All right, so now we've handled the intuitive piece, and you
Hmm.
already led me on the path of the mindset piece. I love that you're saying that you help them unlock what's already there. And
Yes.
so, there's so much, information now. You hear people talking about the mindset piece. So you're telling me that you absolutely can be coached to shift your mindset, and this is the work that you do. So how can we do that?
How can you do that? Well, it definitely is a process and it is a journey.
Yeah.
And we can do that first by being mindfully aware, self aware, and then self-acceptance. And once you tap into those, in the chapter, I'll go over some tips
I
that
know.
can help you to achieve that.
I got to tell you, so I don't want to give away the whole chapter, but I love that. So we already know about you that you are a giver.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that you have given of yourself, and then you've given tools and techniques and ways of being so that others can live their full authentic life. So we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to give away the whole chapter, but there were a few tips that you put there that I just thought were so juicy that I wanted to include in this interview. And the first one is the one that really touched my whole soul, because it was one of those things that when I learned this, it was like the ultimate tool, the ultimate way to be able to shift anything in my life. And it
Mm-hmm.
was to be an observer, to
Mm-hmm.
just stand back and go, wait a minute, let me look at this as if I'm a fly on the wall. Because I think we get our emotions in the way, and things are
Mm-hmm.
happening, and maybe, anger or pain or fear gets in the way, and it clouds away from you stopping to go, wait a minute, wait a minute. So can we just talk about that first step of stepping into awareness
Yes.
and how
So
powerful that is?
absolutely. So that first tip is observing yourself objectively, like you said, being that fly on the wall. So if you're in a situation, like you say, at work, and there's a situation with a coworker or your boss, and you have an emotional response.
Mhm.
So what you would do in that moment is kind of observe yourself without judgment, without trying to fix yourself, and watch your reaction and understand why you had that emotional response,
Mhm.
whether it was positive or extremely negative. You just kind of observe and you take note of that. And then you connect that to your values. Is
Mm.
this what I believe? Do I believe that all people are this type of way? Do I believe that she really had ill or negative intent? And you connect your response to your core value. And then you weigh the two, and then you can see the difference. And then at that point, afterwards, you'll be able to identify your adaptive self versus your authentic self.
What's
And
the
then
what's
mhm,
that? What's the adaptive self?
the adaptive self are it's we learn that in childhood. It's our coping skills. If the environment's not pleasing, we adapt to the situation to get through it,
Mm.
to survive it, to overcome it, to nurture ourselves. So we adapt. And over time, as we become adults, we're layered in all of this adaptive self that you've disconnected from your authentic self. You really don't know who you are. And that's usually why halfway through life we get to that point where, I really want to discover myself. This is not the life that I intended for myself, or I'm not happy. And
Mm.
that's when we go into trying to find ourselves.
This is so powerful. What you just said, like I said, it touched my whole soul because it
Mm-hmm.
is so empowering. I feel like it's a key to unlock so much. And further on that adaptive piece, that so many times we are acting a particular way for years and years and years and years, and you think
Mm-hmm.
that that is who you are. And I love that
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that's not even who you are, and you get
Mm-hmm.
a chance to stop and look and go, what do I authentically think? And
Mm-hmm.
the other one that was in the chapter, and again, I don't want to give it all away, but to look at your family values and look at your
Mm-hmm.
beliefs that have been sort of handed to you, and all
Mm-hmm.
along, and to ask yourself, is this really me? Is this what I really think? And
Mm-hmm.
so this exploration is, again, so empowering. Do you want to say anything about that too?
Yes, we are our environments.
Yeah.
The child that we were is the adult that we become. So the
Mm.
family that we grew up in, of course, has a major impact on changing us and causing us to adapt to become who we're not. So with that being said, it's good to examine the family beliefs,
Mhm.
to see if they align with who you are now. For example, I grew up in a family where there was a lot of yelling,
Mm.
um, a lot of aggression.
Mhm.
That's not my authentic self. But I had to adapt to communicate with my family members. So I grew up aggressive, loud, and yelling. And as I, matured and went out into the workforce, And I'm noticing, okay, I this doesn't feel good. You know, why am I talking so loud? Why am I so assertive? Why am I so aggressive? Because it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm playing a role.
Mm.
And so once I learned that, I started to cultivate that quiet side of me, that zen and that soft spoken woman that I am. Every now and again, that aggression will rise up, or the
She may have.
loudness, because that's how we were raised. You know, it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey and process. But yeah, to kind of just challenge your family beliefs and see if they line up with where you are right now.
So the final question I'll ask you about this. This is I didn't mean to get no free coaching, but I appreciate it. What would you say to someone who has some fear or some hesitation to going, well, if I'm not who I've always been and I don't know who that other person is, there I can imagine that there would be some fear. I imagine that might be what stops a lot of people from being willing to even change their mindset. What would you say to someone who is at that place where I don't know if I could, this is how I've always been, I'm just going to be like this? Oh, well, what would you say to that person?
Well, those are some pretty strong feelings, emotions. I've always been like this, and oh well. That person really isn't in the place to be coached.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
If,
Yeah.
if they're in a place where I see it and I want the change, but I don't know how,
Mm.
that's a place of they're ready to be coached at that point. So if
Mhm.
someone is just steadfast in it, then you allow them to be who they declare and who they're comfortable being.
I love that. So I love that you didn't give me a tip like, well, here's how you break through that. You're like, no, 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 no,
Mm-mm.
no. You got to meet me halfway.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take you all the way to the promised land. But I
Yes.
love that. Thank you for that. I thought you
Mm-hmm.
were going to give me this is how you break through. No, no, no. You have to, and I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for breaking my mindset to thinking there are people like, I'm not going to change it. You can't change folks if they
No.
don't even believe that they can, or they don't, if they want to, or that their fear is so much there.
Yes.
Wow. Or so-called fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is good stuff. Listen, Coach Vanessa, where do we sign up to work with you? I know that we're going to put a link below to make sure that people can connect with you. I really want to thank you for who you have decided to step into being, that you saw how it wasn't working for you and said, no, 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 I need to make a change. And I imagine that, first entering into the work world was your first indoctrination into how you could shift yourself and then help others do the same. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All that you serve and for all the children that you're helping too. I love to hear when people are working with kids too. So we will link something below so we can find you in other places. Thank you for working with the veterans. Thank you for your service. Just all the thank yous, Vanessa.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Indeed. Is there anything you want to leave us with? Any final, or just people just need to read the chapter and read your book when it comes out? We can't wait.
Yes, it's a lovely book. Thank you.
Okay. All the best. Thank you. That was Coach Vanessa, y'all.